try to communicate about this because it's about communication. I've been experimenting with language and sounds for communicating. It's not a conscious effort. It's just something that's happening. And I spend a lot of time alone. My choice. Like one person told me that they were envious that they have a big family. He said, oh, they're envious. You're able to actually complete a thought without being interrupted. Yeah, it's one of the benefits of solitary existence. Well, it's not that I don't relate to other people. I do. I mean, I go out, I talk to people. But it's basically a solitary life. It has been. It always has been. It's just the way it is. It's okay. Hare Krishna. So some people will say, well, if you live alone like that, you can get kind of crazy. Yeah. You can. So I talk to myself quite a bit. But lately, I'm not using structured language. It's very interesting. At first I thought, I'm losing my mind. Well, I'm really losing it. Oh my God, what's going on? But I'm getting some realizations on this. Things like this happen. Zain Patish Tatataya. All nine die. Ankateta. All the door, she kicked it. Hey. Mato, what is Hey, Mato. Ha. What does it mean? Can I translate that? No. I'm just using sounds to express myself. I'm expressing myself through different sounds. It's not a structured language that I know of. Maybe someone that speaks Japanese or something will say, wow, what you just said in Japanese. I don't know what I'm saying. There's no intention to structure anything. I'm just using sounds to express myself in the present moment. It's a lot of fun. So considering how bound we are by our language. When we're born, we're trained by those around us to speak a certain language. And what is the purpose of it? Usually, especially now in this age, the purpose of the language is for maintenance of the body. You learn how to speak so that you can communicate with others about the essential things of life: food, water, shelter, money, sex. And we're bound by that language. What's the purpose of that language? I quit college 3 weeks before I was supposed to graduate. This was in the 70s. It was the hippie time. And I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, so I figured, well, I'll just stay in college until I can figure it out. So I was going to go, into a master's program. In order to go into a master's program, it was required to write a master's degree thesis to qualify for master's school. So the professor scared the heck out of me. Her presence, her demeanor was so intense. She always wore black. This was the director of the psychology department. She always wore black. She was very severe. She had one eye. As we used to say, she was a trip. So she gave me a topic to write my paper on. It was the Whorfian hypothesis. And she told me that she was really quite interested in this. It was a very interesting subject, and she really looked forward to seeing what I could present on this topic. She was personally interested in this. So that was kind of nice, actually. She singled me out to give me a topic that she personally had some interest in. And the Whorfian hypothesis is there was a little bit of research done on the relationship between thought, language, and culture. Thought, words, and language. Anyway, something like that. Linguistics. Now, I was interested in that too, but I couldn't find any research on it. There was one paper that had been written in the 40s or something by somebody named Whorf. And that was it. I went to the Brandeis University Library. I went to Boston College University Library. I went to the Harvard. I went to the MIT. I went everywhere. This was Boston, a lot of universities. There was nothing. How am I going to write a paper on this? There's no research. I would have had to conduct my own experiments, and I wasn't really well equipped for that at the time. It would have been a good thing to do, though. I should have done it. But it was beyond I couldn't access doing that kind of thing at the time. And I was so intimidated by this professor that I just decided, forget it. I don't want to have anything to do with college or school or anything. Just forget it. Because I'd been experimenting a bit with consciousness expanding drugs. And this was right around the time Prabhupada was traveling and preaching, making disciples, gathering disciples. I'd been exposed a few times already to Krishna conscious devotees, but it hadn't taken root. It was just floating around there with all the other stuff that was floating around. So I quit school 3 weeks before I was supposed to graduate. My parents were delighted about that. They had made so much sacrifice to put me in this really good school. And I just walked out. So it was like they had given all that money for nothing. What great parents. They just tolerated it. Oh my goodness. Heartbreaking, really. Oh, I put them through so much. Wonderful parents. Yeah, you're going to cry, I think. Oh. How incredible they were. Well, anyway, so the subject was language, words, thought, language, culture. And now, years later, I'm thinking on this subject. The limitations of language and how it binds us to a culture. I guess I'm working on my master's degree thesis or something. But It's something that I'm dealing with right now. But we're bound by this language, and it structures our thought. It's like having a toolbox, and there's something you need to do. You need to put up a shelf in the bathroom. So you look for the appropriate tools: the hammer, the saw, the nails, the screws, the boards, whatever, to get this done. So language is like that. The words we have in there and the ability to use them is like a toolbox. But a toolbox can't prepare a dinner. It can only do certain types of things. So it has its limitations. The hammer, the saw, it has its limitations. To prepare a dinner, we need other kinds of tools. We need pots and pans and spoons and spices, raw ingredients to prepare a dinner. To communicate on a spiritual platform, we need to not be bound by the limitations of language and thought. Hence, the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna. That frees us. Mantra, freeing the mind. From what? The limitations of what? Thought and language. That's why just hearing the Sanskrit verses, even if we don't know the transliteration, just hearing the vibration is very purifying. Because the Sanskrit language is a toolbox for transcendence. Like Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Hare Krishna. Purification of the mind means becoming free from the limitations of language and thought. Zungvite katana tu atochi karataya Engsta hinsta yakapata hiha aindako vachiti te hey. What did I just say? Hare Krishna.